Pieces of shit on the right versus pieces of shit on the left. Both sides at a spectator dupe voter political divide contradict their own value systems. Got Biden here, who's supposedly the pro-choice left, telling you this is not about freedom of personal choice when it comes to taking a jab. And then you got Donald Trump here, who supposedly tells you he supports our troops, shaking hands with a man who says, I killed your troops. So you got Donald Trump, I support our troops, shaking hands with a man who says, I killed your troops. That's Al Jawlani, Al-Qaeda leader, Syria leader, ISIS, all that shit. Yeah, man, time to wake up. Yeah, and both sides of the spectator dupe voter political divide support child trafficking, rape, and torture of children. Joe Biden, who protects child predators. Trump, who protects child predators, and Trump publicly admitted it. Trump basically, he didn't say he protects child predators, but he did say he didn't. It, almost sure this is the exact words. He said something like he didn't want to release the Epstein files because he didn't want to hurt his billionaire friends. And of course, you got Al Jawlani, who protects child predators and also beheads innocent people. How about that, huh? He was involved with the beheading of Nick Berg back in 2004 when Al Zarqawi beheaded Nick Berg live on the internet. Yeah, man. This is what you support. I mean, I don't know what you tell yourself, but you support the left right paradigm. You support child trafficking, rape, and torture of children. You just do. It's the truth. And you can sit here and say that you don't agree with that. You can sit here and say that, well, I don't support that, but you do. You support the left right paradigm. This is what you support. It's disgusting. So I'll start with the political right. I am talking to all you spectator dupe voters on both the left and the right, but just focusing on the right on this slide, including people in the so-called freedom movement. So there's Colin Kaepernick taking his knee during his football game, not hurting anybody. Almost all the dupes who support Trump on the right wanted Colin Kaepernick to suffer for taking a knee during a stupid football game. Many people on the right wanted to initiate physical violence against him, all because Colin was supposedly disrespecting soldiers. Now, on the other side here, we have almost all of the dupes who support Trump on the right are contradicting themselves by continuing to support a president that is partnering with a man who facilitated and even actively participated in the killing and severely wounding of U.S. soldiers. Yeah, that's what you support. You are all hypocrites, dude. Let somebody try to tell me that because I don't want to stand for some national anthem that I'm disrespecting soldiers, especially someone from the right who supports a man who is partnered with someone who actually fucking killed US soldiers. Somewhere in America, there's a man who was formerly a soldier in Iraq who can't even use his genitals because of one of Al Jawlani's roadside bombs. And you want to talk to me about disrespecting soldiers? Better get out of my face, man. So I'm gonna put you right in your place. Let somebody try to tell me that I'm disrespecting soldiers. Get out of my face. You disgust me. Disgust me. All you people on the right were close with wanting to adhere to the Constitution, but you don't even do that. All you do is just follow the cult of personality. All you do is just blindly follow. Now to the political left. The leftist dupe followers contradict themselves just like their political heroes. The leftists are not pro-choice. They are pro-abortion, which is an abomination. During the scamdemic, the leftist politicians and their dupe followers showed us exactly what they are: hypocrites. They didn't support the workers and were definitely not for personal choice. And they don't support the workers. They support public health, which is fucking tyranny. Okay? Someone telling you what you need to do for your health. And if you don't, they're going to initiate violence against you. And that's what all the leftists are about. And on the right side here, these are some excerpts from a feedback article in response to my article, Freedom versus Tyranny. You can see how Ralph Thayer, contradicts himself. Boy, would I love to meet this guy face to face. His beloved government is trying to keep people healthy by offering a vaccine. What about all the people who lost their jobs? A woman's right to choose? Really? All the women nurses who lost their jobs for refusing to take the jab, refusing to submit to weekly testing and all that shit? I think the nurses just had to take the jab. I don't think they even had the testing option. So yeah, taking freedom to extremes, Ralph argues, wanting to refuse to initiate harm towards others. Can't have that. Can't have that in the leftist Ralph's world. These leftists are just as bad as people on the right. They're just as bad, man. It's just the leftists, what's different about them is their rulers, they try to pretend that they're caring and nurturing kind of rulers, that they're not the dictator king style. It's all nonsense. And that's what you have. I have some outline, here. It's on the left side here. I, for one, will always stand by a woman's right to choose, is what he says here. He says that there. Yep. And then he says, yes, I deliberately chose to go there because much of all the tyranny revolves around the federal government trying to keep people healthy, well, and grounded in reality. That's just very sick. And of course, how are they doing that? They're offering, he says. See, that's the difference. That's what the left does. Oh, we're not dictators. We're not telling people they have to do it. We're offering it to them. It's the same thing, but they call it offering. That's that niceness, that little niceness. I'm a nice ruler. I'm offering a potentially life-saving vaccine was an infringement upon freedom, is what he says. No, they weren't offering. They were telling you take it or lose your job, jab or job. Okay? The left is just as bad as the right, just a different style. So here it is. You're all just followers, man. The dupes just follow along. You have no principles. Both of you on the left and the right, no principles. You just follow, even if it contradicts your own supposed values. So start with the left. Stated values of the left and behaviors of the left. So we'll start in the first row with the left. Support the workers. That's the stated values. And then the behaviors, you're fired if you not take your shot and shut down your business. Yeah, support the workers. No. Nope. Not happening. And then to the second row in the left, stated values of the left, personal choice is paramount. And then the behaviors, take your shot or you're fired, kicked out of college, and excluded from public events. Now down to the last row, stated values of the left, war is not the answer. Behaviors of the left, this is a joke. Hating Russians for no reason and supporting Ukraine war catastrophe and, of course, all of Obama's wars and all that stuff, man. I mean, that's a joke. The Clintons, Benghazi, all that shit. So now to the right. First row, stated values of the right, support the troops. That's a fucking laugh. Behaviors of the right, support a man who killed the troops. How about that? You are just, I mean, oh man, all you political followers are just shot out. To the next row. Stated values of the right. Do not infringe on firearms ownership. Behaviors of the right. Idolize a man who passed the most oppressive gun laws in history, federal red flag gun laws. Donald Trump. Unbelievable. To the last row, stated values of the right. Free speech is paramount. To the behaviors, idolize a man who has people arrested for speaking out against the genocide of Palestine. That guy speaking out for the Palestinian people who are being horrendously, it's just awful. It's just awful in Palestine. And the man was kidnapped in the middle of the night. Busted. He had, I think it was ICE that did the dirty deeds, the order followers. It's disgusting. And all you support this. I don't know how you people look yourselves in the mirror, man. I really don't. I don't know how you look yourselves in the mirror as a political follower. I mean, what do you tell yourself? What lies do you tell yourself? How do you go along with this? You're in a state of psychosis, straight up. Shortly, the public will be unable to reason or think for themselves. They'll only be able to parrot the information they've been given on the previous night's news, and of course, by now, you could also change that to their internet podcaster, their power structure paid internet podcaster. And that was former U.S. presidential advisor Zbigniew Brzezinski. Yeah, he knew the plan. All right, I have a little video series. Hey, Trump supporters, you've been tricked. No one's going to save you. You can save yourselves. I'm going to show a reaction to the verse video I made, and these videos were just about trying to tell Trump supporters that Donald Trump is not anti-establishment, that he's not here to help. He's not a statesman. He's a puppet, and people just don't want to hear it. They're in that state of psychosis. And here you go. We have this man, evil destroyer. See, this is the psychosis. He thinks he's the evil destroyer because he's on the right. And the people on the left think they're the evil destroyers. And they all participate in the initiation of physical harm. I'm going to get to that. So, he says, you can't deny Trump made the USA quite better than Sleepy Joe gained power. See, this is what they do. Okay? That's the psychosis. See, never ever in my videos, any of my Trump supporters videos, did I offer the left as a solution to the problem. Never. But that's what they go to. That's what they immediately go to. That's the psychosis. In their head, when you criticize their guy, in their head, they immediately go to the other side. That's the psychosis. It's genius. These people are so brainwashed. It's unbelievable. And they don't even realize it. And they're in that Dunning-Kruger effect where they think I'm the idiot. I'm trying to tell them that they're being played, that all of you political followers are being played out, and you all laugh at me and say I'm the idiot. That's Dunning-Kruger, man. But they automatically go to the other side. I don't even have to look at this guy's reaction anymore. I mean, I had a reaction to him. I didn't want to put that up here because I've learned a lot more since then. You know, this is a video I made back in 2021, and I've learned a lot more since then. So I wanted to just talk about this now. It says 4 years ago. It was more than that. But so he says turned all his policies back. I don't know that. I don't think that happened. I don't know how he sees that. He offers no evidence, of course. He says now we have the highest inflation. A lot of that was because of the stimulus checks and Trump's CARES Act, evil destroyer. And then he says the highest gas prices, which No, the gas prices are higher now. Uh, Mr. Evil Destroyer. I don't know if you know that, and inflation's even going up more now. With Trump here. But of course, the game of the left-right paradigm is each of these puppets come in, they do things, and then the effects, most of the effects, fall on the next puppet that comes in. That's the game, and that pushes people back and forth. That's how the game's played. But um, continuing on, he says, talks about the supply chain issues. Yeah, that was going on. And now look at you. He's talking about me. Still dividing people. Still, I don't know. How was I still dividing people? I don't know what that means. But dividing people using your lies. I was presenting fully objective information about what was going on during Trump's administration. The warp speed jab rollouts, um, the 30 more 40 million people out of work within a 6 to 8 week period. That's a disaster. I mean, that was all factual. I don't know what he's talking about with lies. He doesn't, once again, offer any evidence because he's in a psychosis. This is the psychosis. And then he says, I love how you think people are stupid. Hey, you know what? You fall for this left right paradigm. You really are stupid. It's just the truth. I was there. I fell for it. I had to look myself in the mirror and say, wow, I'm stupid. I'm falling for a complete trick. But anyway, he says, wow, fellow, grow up, take the diaper off. I responded to that harshly because, I'm not someone who needs a grown man to tuck me in at night and tell me everything will be all right, that'll protect me from Iranians and terrorists and all that shit. I'm a grown man. I'll take care of myself, and whatever happens to me happens to me. That was a lot of part of my reaction at that time. But this is what I want to focus on. If he says, if you can't see that Biden's administration has the world totally messed up, once again, that's the psychosis. He's going right back. He's going right back to the other side. Right back to the other side, as if I offered that as a solution. I never offered this as a solution. I never offered the other side as a solution. The other side is absolutely not the solution. It drives me crazy when I hear these people talking about how terrible Trump is, and then they start hinting at their solution with the other side, which is just as terrible. And we saw that during the scamdemic. But that's the psychosis. They don't see it. They don't see it. That's the psychosis, okay? So he goes back to the Biden administration, which once again, that's the lesser of two evils. They're telling you, well, it's either Trump or Biden, dude. I mean, come on. Trump's better. Trump made the USA quite better. That's the psychosis. And then he says that is your issue, okay? Then he says there isn't anyone that I know thought Trump would save anyone, which I don't really believe that, okay? I mean, they don't come right out and say it, but it's in their hearts. And then he says, if you fella can't save yourself, that is your deal, not ours. That's the psychosis right there. That's the psychosis. Not ours, he says. Speak for yourself, evil destroyer. Speak for yourself. What do you mean, ours? That's the psychosis. That's mass formation psychosis, man. Mass formation psychosis. This is a classic. Wow, this is frightening. It really is. Because we're in big trouble. We are in big trouble. This is terrible. So on the bright side, there is solutions. We got to address underlying causal factors. The initiation of physical harm to others is inversely related to levels of freedom in societies of intelligent beings. As the initiation of physical harm increases, freedom decreases. Okay? So, physical harm is murder, assault, rape, theft, trespass, and willful lying that results in physical harm. To initiate physical harm is to aggress towards others who have not initiated physical harm. Not hard to figure out. Physical harm does not change by calling the behaviors different names and justifying the behaviors as necessary. That's a part of the psychosis. That's a part of the psychosis, folks. Calling initiations of physical harm something other than what they are. That's a part of the psychosis. That's what keeps the psychosis well in check. If people would just break that and just see the initiations of physical harm that they do on each side, maybe they start waking up. So, taxation, which is a perfect example, is theft, extortion, and coercion with the threat of violence, as well as the carrying out of violence depending on the level of noncompliance. An initiation of aggression is an act that violates a person's property. Our bodies, what is in or on our bodies, and our time and energy spent are our property. I can't stress that enough. And that's what the ruling class has gotten us to completely ignore, that we own our bodies. The left with the jab, and the right, they're the same. It's terrible, man. The Federal Reserve extracting wealth from us. Every dollar we earn is devalued with a hidden tax, taxing our time and energy spent. The IRS. Millions of people in the U.S. work for institutions, IRS, ICE, FBI, CIA, the Federal Reserve, that initiate physical harm towards others. Corresponding result is the loss of freedom. The very existence of those agencies cause a loss of freedom. The very existence. Then you have the belief in human rulership. People have to stop believing in human rulers. No more human rulers. The belief in money as a primary value. The belief that making money is more important than refusing to initiate physical harm. Look at what all these ICE people are doing for a fucking paycheck. Look at what they're doing to people. Look at all these IRS workers for a paycheck and a pension. Extracting value from Americans. Threatening Americans with violence if they don't pay arbitrary fees. IRS workers. People who work for the Federal Reserve, participating in the devaluing of our currency, our time, and our energy spent. Just stripping us of our dignity for a fucking paycheck and a pension. I can't stress that enough. And then we, the people, destroy ourselves. That's ultimately what this is. We, the people, destroying ourselves. And nobody cares. So that's it. I'll end it at that. It's a shame.